beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you are on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So as you already know by the title of this video, today's reading is all about the rest of 2020. I think we can all agree that, to say the absolute least, 2020 has been pretty crazy already. So because of how the year started out, I definitely feel as though it is 100% necessary to look into further details of this year. And in order to help you figure out exactly what's going on for you for the rest of 2020, I have 5 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 5 groups intuitively. So as you can see, the crystals are a little different today. They're bigger, they're chunkier, and that is because all of these crystals can be found on my online crystal shop. It is linked down below, and it's called buildabowlife.com, where you can buy the exact crystal that you see in this video, as well as a plethora of other crystals that come with their exact pictures. Because I personally find it very difficult to find a reliable and trustworthy crystal store online where you have very quick shipping, as well as know exactly what kind of crystal that you receive. Because the different crystals vary so widely with their color and just their composition that it is really reassuring to know that you're getting the exact crystal from the photo. And this is just where I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who has been supporting my store, who has been supporting my channel, watching my videos. I truly appreciate it, especially in such a difficult time where a lot of people are economically affected. It is just such an incredible feeling to have such a supportive unicorn fam. So thank you guys so much. You are truly the reason why I'm able to continue creating these videos for you. So regarding the 5 crystals that you can choose from, they are as follows. We have the Carnelian, we have the Selenite, we have the Celestine, we have the rose quartz, as well as the rainbow fluorite. But the timestamps are linked down below in the description box, as well as the link to each and every one of these crystals that have been used in today's reading. So yeah, you guys, we've already talked so much in the intro. I want to spend more time within the individual readings so we can really get into depth about the rest of this year and what it's going to look like for you. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Carnelian, and to all of my other beautiful groups. I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Carnelian, which I want to do a really quick close-up of, just so you know exactly what this looks like. It is just such a gorgeous stone, and it fits really beautifully right in the palm of your hand, which is something that I love about this crystal and working with carnelians, especially the ones that I have linked down below. Just that, you know, they fit really nicely, really snug, and you're able to meditate with them. But I want to move straight into your reading. I have prepared only 2 cards because the rest of the cards I will be picking completely intuitively for you. So first and foremost, we have the 8 of Swords as well as the 4 of Cups. So group number 1, one thing that I see here for you in the 8 of Swords is that a lot of 2020 is just going to be based on you following your gut feeling, okay? One thing that I see here in the 8 of Swords is the fact that you're not really going to make that many decisions based on logic, because what 2020 has taught you so far is just the fact that things can get crazy, and you should not underestimate how quickly everything can change. And that is one thing that I see here in the 4 of Cups. I see a new feeling of security and groundedness because you have experienced something very rare in your lifetime. You know, 2020 has brought you a lot of lessons that you did not know of before. But it also brings you more security in yourself and your ability to kind of get through things and survive. So it's really teaching you to be strong. And I know 2020 has been a really crazy year so far, but after all, you know, in the 4 of Cups, as well as just if you take the numbers of 2020, so 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0, that is 4, which is the number of work. So keep in mind that the rest of the year does not need to be under this like bad spell kind of, okay? So just because things started off really crazily, that does not mean that there cannot be good that comes out of this. Most things happen for a reason, and one thing that I see here is that you will be able to see all of the things that you have actually been able to gain from this year sooner rather than later. Then we have the Empress, as well as the Ace of Pentacles. So group number 1 in the Empress, one thing that I see here is kind of like a fertile time. So if you're looking to get pregnant, the year of 2020 is a good year for you. If you're looking to just give, you know, a friend advice, a family member advice who is maybe looking to add a member to their family, this is an ideal year. And I see in the Ace of Pentacles that this year is going to come with new financial kind of seeds and starts that are most likely going to be positive, that are most likely going to be fruitful. So I want you to know in the Ace of Pentacles that if you want to start a new business idea, 2020 is not a bad year for you whatsoever, because as I said, things are kind of fertile, not only biologically, but also when it comes to business, also when it comes to creating something for yourself. Then we have the King of Swords as well as the Queen of Swords. So we have the King and the Queen of Swords, okay? And these swords connect to everything that has to do with where you're at mentally. So I want you to know that mentally speaking, you are going to get back into full control. So if you've been feeling like you're going a little crazy, like you're in a place that you're not used to, okay, that is very uncertain, I want you to know in the King of Swords that you will have that kind of authority over your mental space back, as well as in the Queen of Swords, like you will still be understanding to what you've been through, but you will be able to give yourself kind of like a little bit of a kick in the butt and tell yourself like, look, you've been through like crazy and not knowing what to do and feeling unsure for long enough. We gotta buckle up now. We gotta get in the driver's seat and we gotta make sure that we're in control of our life here. Then we have inner peace, we have abundance, as well as patience. Okay, so group number 1, I definitely want to point out to you that 2020 is most likely a more fruitful year than you would expect it to be, but you will need patience. That is something that is important for you. And in the stone that you chose and the fact that you ended up choosing the Carnelian, one thing that I definitely see is that patience is maybe not going to be your strong suit in these next weeks and months, but I'm telling you, group number 1, patience is truly a virtue, especially for you, especially if you felt drawn to this stone. I want you to know of the importance of it and how much it can actually give you that inner peace that you need and that you desire, okay? That is very important for you to kind of invite more fruitful endeavors in and to be able to enjoy abundance, okay? So group number 1, allow yourself to be more patient than you want to be, than you're used to, than you feel like you should be, okay? Because often when things are going in a weird direction or people are freaking out, people around you are impatient, it makes you want to do the same, or it kind of almost makes you feel like you have an excuse to act that same way. But just because somebody is acting in an impatient way or in a way how they're like freaking out and disrupting their own inner peace, that does not mean that you should do the same or that it's okay for you to do the same. I want you to know that they're going to have to rebuild their mental space, their inner peace, just as you need to if you follow those same footsteps. So don't kind of throw yourself in that ditch. Don't dig yourself your own grave, your own hole where you're going to have to pull yourself out of. Allow yourself to already be in a more favorable position than you maybe would put yourself in, just because, as I said, you can see other people acting a certain way, which almost is like an excuse. So don't allow that to lure you in, if you will. Then we have insects as well as prayer. So one thing that I see here in insects is the fact that support is something that is coming from everywhere in 2020, not only for you, but also from you. I definitely see here in prayer as well as insects that supporting other people as well as other people supporting you is kind of like the motto for the rest of 2020. Trying to stick together more, trying to pull kind of in the same direction, trying to make things work again, rebuilding, you know, just building something that actually functions economically as well as just spiritually. That is one thing that I see coming in the year of 2020. Then we have the drum as well as the trickster. So I do see though that you have some situations here coming for you where people who are insincere are trying to get closer to you. And I didn't even see that we had another card under the prayer, which we are of course going to look at, which is crystals. So I want you to know here the fact that there are some people who are going to try to enter your life, going to try to give you an opportunity in business that is not really an opportunity for you, more an opportunity for them to make money off of you. Be aware of that for the rest of 2020, because when there's an opportunity to rebuild, when there are people in need or people who are into like creating something new, there are also always people who try to take advantage of the situation. And we're honest here on my channel. We're not going to pretend like we live in a goody two-shoe world. There are some people who are one way, there are other people who are another way, okay? So in the drum, I want you to stay woke. I want you to know that the drum is all about like awakening to the beat. So know that yes, the beat is moving in a nice position, is moving in a position of celebration, but at the same time, you know, there are people dancing to the beat who are only dancing to the beat in order to benefit from the party, but as soon as it comes to like cleaning up, they're gone. As soon as it comes to actually contributing to the party, they're nowhere to be found, you know, like partying and leaving with a bill open. So be very aware of those people trying to be a part of your life, your group, what you're trying to do financially for your business, etc. Then in crystals, one thing that I see here is everything is going to be amplified for you for the rest of 2020. So feelings of love, feelings of defeat, feelings of happiness, everything is going to feel intensified. And one way in which you can balance that out is, of course, using crystals, but also doing other things such as meditation, such as just grounding yourself, spending more time in nature, and just overall also paying attention to the things that you kind of like take into your body. Do you take medication? Do you take some form of birth control? Do you take, you know, something that just helps you cope with everyday life or pain? Those things can sometimes alter us, you know, mentally. They can sometimes put us in a space where every emotion seems uncontrollable and every emotion seems difficult to deal with. So it would be beneficial for you to look into that if that is something that is causing this amplification of being a little over emotional about certain aspects of your life. So group number one, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it gave you a lot of insight and also motivation and pointed out things that you need to look out for, that you feel like, that's actually something that I've been thinking of but wasn't quite sure, that now I have clarification. So group number one, wherever you are in this world, I hope that you're staying safe and having an amazing day or night, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Selenite group number two, which is really a gorgeous mineral. It is like this little tower of just beautiful energy, and the Selenite is a stone that helps you cleanse your home as well as other crystals from any sort of like negative energy. So if you have a lot of crystals and you don't have a Selenite, know that this is an amazing cleansing agent. And also just having like kind of larger Selenite towers around your home is something that can make the aura around you a lot more cleansed, clearer, and just put you in a more positive headspace when you need it the most. But let's move into your reading to figure out what's going on for the rest of 2020. So we have the Queen of Cups as well as the Eight of Cups. So we got a lot of cups here, which leads me to think that the rest of 2020 is going to be kind of a little bit more emotional for you than you're used to. I see here in the Queen of Cups that you are in control of your emotions. Okay, group number two, you're not going to go crazy, but at the same time, you need a little bit more care, you need a little bit more nurturing energy, and that is where I see here in the Eight of Cups that you're going to be looking to your friends, your family, maybe even your love life for support, emotional support, love. And I see that when you're not getting that love, when you're in a situation where you feel as though you're kind of being neglected, you're not going to take that well. The rest of 2020 is really a year where you need to have people closest to you step up for once, especially if you've been the rock, especially if you've been the one who has stepped up to the plate before for them. You need them to do the same for you this year. Then I see here the Eight of Swords as well as the Five of Cups. So one thing that I see in the Five of Cups is the fact that if they fail to do so, okay, your relationships are going to result to end up in a place where you're kind of doubting the sincerity a little bit, especially when it comes to friends and family member who let you down. As I can see here in the Eight of Swords, that you're 100% going to trust your intuition. You're going to 100% kind of just trust where you feel like your body is leading you to. So that has to also do with your diet, exercise, as well as your job. You're not going to let anybody, not a doctor, not an employer, tell you what is best for you. You're going to tune into your own realm, into your own space, into your own body, and allow yourself to understand your needs better. Because at the end of the day, of course, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical practitioner. This is not advice that I'm saying you must take, but keep in mind that medical doctors can misdiagnose people. It has happened many times before and had fatal outcomes, which we're all human, okay? So this is not about pointing blame. This is about how you as an individual have kind of the responsibility to listen and tune into your body and know when something is not working for you, know when something is maybe not quite where it's supposed to be, even if it is somebody who should have your best interests at heart telling you that this is their opinion. You know, it's an opinion. It's always good to get second opinions, third opinions. The same goes for your job, okay? I see here that it's important for you to just go with what you feel is right and not listen to what anybody else says. Don't allow anybody to scare you. Don't allow anybody to tell you that you can't find anything better, because if something feels off, trust me, in 2020, we're not waiting for things to happen. We're trusting our gut before things need to hit the fan, if you know what I mean. Then we have truth as well as voyage. So one thing that I see here in truth is the fact that a lot of things are going to come to light that you may have not expected. I see in truth, furthermore, that you feel as though, especially in your relationships, you will come to a realization of who is really there for you and who you can sadly not count on, even in the most difficult of times. And often it can be a very painful revelation where you realize your closest friends, your immediate family are maybe too interested in what's going on in their life to even stop and think, hey, let me ask her or him how they are doing. You know, so it's very important for you to allow yourself to go on this voyage of emotions, to allow yourself to feel all the feels, but don't get stuck in sad town. Don't get stuck in like a place that just makes you feel down and out. Allow yourself to know that people don't mean any harm when they're too focused on their own things. Like, a lot of people just don't realize when they need to pay attention to others, because often we can like put a little microscope, like put our problems under the microscope and blow them up so enormously into such an unproportionate size to what it really is that we forget about the people around us. You know, I'm guilty of it, you're maybe guilty of it, and it's just something that we need to learn to forgive people for. Then we have a transformation, we have patience, as well as taking risks. So you have to be a little patient for now, group number 2, okay? There's no other way to say it. Transformation is coming, but as I said, it's going to need a little bit of time. So allow yourself to be more patient than you would maybe like to be, okay? But know that it's all for a really good cause. As I can see here, that the time will come where you should take risks and where it'll be beneficial for you to take risks, but that time is not right now, group number 2. That time is not really, how should I say, things are not set in motion now for you to be doing things out of the ordinary, for you to be trying new business ventures. You really just need to let things play by ear and check in a couple weeks and months whether your situation, whether your energetic resonance is in the right spot for you to take any risks. Then we have the Great Mystery, as well as the middle world. Okay, so one thing that I see in the middle world is that you have to be present right now. Okay, don't wait for the rest of 2020. I see that this year is going to bring enough things that you can focus on, but it's very important for you to kind of live right now and not say to yourself, I'll be happy when X, Y, and Z. I'll be happy when things get back to normal. You know, that is just not a good idea. One thing that I see here in the Great Mystery is that you just need to trust that everything that is going on right now is for the better for the year of 2020 and the further years to come. I want you to know in the middle world that becoming present with where you are right now, everything that scares you, everything that makes you uneasy, everything that you're worried about is going to put you in a space of a lot of realization, of epiphanies that you may have not been able to have if you would have just looked to the future and told yourself, I don't really care for the present moment, I just want things to get better. I totally get that, group number 2, but at the same time, there's so much you can take with you from this situation, so much you can learn, so much you can accomplish. It would really be a shame to just see things in a more negative light rather than in a light of opportunity. And that is where the great mystery comes in and kind of shows that for the rest of 2020, there are things coming towards you that you did not expect, good and challenging. As I said, friends, family, that is something that is kind of challenging, but at the same time, I see here a transformation, taking risks, and I see a lot of red within your reading, which is a passionate color, which a lot of people consider a color of love. You know, we have pinks, we have reds, so feelings of kind of like friendships, family relationships, as well as romantic relationships, coming to a point where if you just kind of trust that you can transform into the kind of connections that you want, where you can transcend from where you are right now to having the fulfilling relationships that you desire, that is something that can come to fruition for the rest of 2020. But as I said, there will be a little bit of space that has to be made because you're somebody who can only have so many deep connections at once. So some people will leave your life, whereas other people will be able to enter your life who just fit better into your current mindset and situation, and who just understand you more after you have undergone a big transformation in the year of 2020. So group number 2, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. In correlation to the Selenite, I definitely see a lot of cleansing happening in the year of 2020. I see that a lot of your mindset and who you are is going to be replaced with new beliefs, with a new mindset, and that is something that you should look forward to. So I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading, that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home the most for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading about the rest of 2020. So you chose the Celestine group number 3, which is really such a gorgeous mineral. I love how sparkly it is, and just the fact that it has this beautiful pastel blue color. I mean, can you beat the beauty of this stone? I think not. It is absolutely beautiful. Nice choice, group number 3. Let's move into your reading to figure out what is going on for you. So we have the World as well as the 3 of Swords. So one thing that I see here for you, group number 3, is that the rest of 2020 is going to be more prosperous and make you a lot more satisfied and happy than you would have ever expected. But one thing that I do see here in the 3 of Swords is that there is a little bit of heartache for you for the rest of 2020. So this could be heartache in the romantic department. This could also be heartache when it comes to your other relationships, or say, you know, an older kind of animal or part of your family member just deteriorating to a state where you feel a little down, you know, where you feel like you wish you could do something, but you know this is life, but at the same time you ask yourself, is this really life? Just kind of like a dilemma when it comes to that. But you know, we do have the World card here in your reading, group number 3, which really trumps the 3 of Swords. I see that this is not something that is going to devastate you, okay? This is not something that is going to make you very sad or anything, because overall in the World, you kind of understand that life in general is beautiful, and some things just happen, you know, some things are natural, some things are just life. So that is something that I don't want you to worry about, because overall your reading so far is more favorable. Then we have the King of Wands as well as the 2 of Swords. So in the King of Wands, one thing that I see here is that you have kind of like very active energy for the rest of 2020. I see that this recuperation that you may be going through right now, or just being able to kind of regain your strength, is something that you will feel, okay? You will feel how you're able to put in more effort, more energy into the things that you desire. As I see here also in the 2 of Swords, just the fact that, you know, your ideas are kind of coming to a point where you can mesh them together. So you may have had one idea for your career, one idea for your love life, your personal life, and you're going to be able to align them in a way how they all work together. So for instance, if you wanted to be a doctor, but at the same time you want a love life where you see your partner a lot, that may have not been possible prior to you making, the adjustments that you need. For instance, being with somebody who works in the same field, maybe in the same, opening a practice together. Just an example, just to make it clear on how you will be able to mesh things together in order to just create the most harmonious life for yourself as well as the people who are involved in your life. Then we have the Tower, as well as the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. Okay, so group number 3, I want you to know in the Tower that things are going to get worse before they get better. And I don't want you to freak out, but I gotta be honest. I'm not somebody who just tells you what you want to hear. I want you to know here in the Eight of Swords that you will literally have no choice other than to just trust in the universe, trust in your intuition, trust in whatever it is that you want to put your faith in, to know that things are going to be better. Of course, my channel is all inclusive. If that is God, if that is the universe, it does not play a role. You understand what I mean when I say, trust in a higher force, and just the fact that the world and life is not out to get you. In the Seven of Pentacles, I see that in the meantime, work on the things that are important to you. Don't neglect your dreams. Don't neglect your career. Don't think that just because things are maybe running a little bit differently or a little slower than usual, that you need to slow your roll. When other people are slowing their roll, you should actually take that as an advantage. You should take that as a way where you're like, okay, I've recuperated, I have my energy back, I'm going to do some King of Wands stuff right now, okay? I'm going to do some King of Wands-ish, where I'm getting out there, I'm getting things done, and I'm killing it, even if everybody else feels like they can't right now. Then we have success, we have love, as well as solitude. So we have a lot of things going on for you here, okay? So in love, one thing that I see is definitely an opportunity for romantic love. And this may have to do with the heartache that you experience. If you're coming out of one relationship, you're of course going to experience heartache, but then coming into the next, you experience love. You feel as though things are going in a favorable way. Success has to do with your personal life as well as your career. And I want you to know that your career is most likely going to keep you kind of a little bit confined. I see that the things that you desire in your career are things that not everybody understands, and it kind of can make you feel a little bit alone, okay? That is maybe also another thing where the Three of Swords plays a role, where you feel almost like you have to deal with a lot of things by yourself, which you may not want to. But you will have for 2020 some love that you can use as a shoulder to cry on, that you can use as a support system, love that you did not expect, okay? These readings are often about things that you may have felt but not expected, and that is one thing that I see in love for you, group number 3. Then we have offerings as well as middle world. So one thing that I see here in offerings is that we have wealth coming your way. There are always winners and losers in certain situations, especially economically, but who says that you cannot be on the side of winners, I want you to know in the middle world that the way how you can be on the side of winners, the way how you can make sure that you come out of a situation in a prosperous way, is to focus each and every day on what you can do now, okay? Don't focus on the future. Don't focus on the past. Focus on being productive now. And I know a lot of people feel as though they're being in the now if they're worrying about the now. But I want you not to be worrying about the now, because that is a waste of time. Get active in the now. That is one thing that is very important for you, to be able to count yourself as a winner at the end of 2020. So take that piece of advice and information to heart. If that is the only thing that you take from this reading, group number 3, make sure that you're active, make sure that you're creating tomorrow's wealth today, okay? And not worrying today about tomorrow, because tomorrow will come and you will be worrying tomorrow about the day after tomorrow. And that is a spiral that you kind of need to break, that you need to make sure that you don't get into, because Everything is laid out for success for you. Everything is laid out for you to be able to rebuild and get to a point where you feel like, yes, this was actually, it was a hard year. I mean, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equals the number 4, which in numerology is a number of stability, but also a number of a lot of work, which may be why a lot of things are happening in your life right now. You are being pushed to have to work harder on yourself, harder to make this world a better place, and harder to realize just how grateful you should be for the life that you have. So group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it insightful and that it gave you clarity as well as motivation. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading about the rest of 2020 for you. So you chose the Rose Quartz group number 4, which is such a gorgeous mineral. I love this piece especially. It is polished in the front and raw in the back, so you get the best of both worlds truly. So this is the stone of friendship, love, just relationships in general, which may be exactly why you felt drawn to it. But let's move into your reading to figure out what's going on for you, shall we? So we have the Ace of Wands as well as the Five of Swords. So in the Wands as well as the Swords, as you can see, we have these stick-like kind of images, which represents phallic energy, which is masculine energy. And I want you to know that masculine energy is the kind of energy that gets things done, but it is also the kind of energy that can get a little bit overly excited and obsessed with an idea and kind of jump into it without thinking, get into it without being able to first figure out whether it will work or not. That is one thing that I see in the Ace of Wands. I see great ideas coming your way, but what you really need to do to be able to create the best year for yourself, to make the most of 2020 still, is to make sure that you properly reevaluate what your idea could benefit from, where you could maybe make adjustments. As I can see here in the Five of Swords, that, you know, there is a little bit of a challenge here mentally for you to maybe put your ego when it comes to a great idea aside, or just, you know, the fact that you don't want to have to tweak it too much. Put that feeling aside in order to make sure that you present your idea or get what you need to get done in a way that is fruitful, that you make sure that everything has a good financial return, that you don't fall into difficulties when it comes to the financial realms in your career. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles as well as the Wheel of Fortune. So in the Eight of Pentacles, you know, it is just the universe reiterating the fact that you have to put work into the earthly realms. You have to put work into your career and just into your ideas and how you're dealing with your ideas, you know, how you're presenting them, how you're bringing them to fruition. I see in the Eight of Pentacles that you have to try a lot of different ways. You see this person painting here, and they have all of these different patterns, you know, and the number 8 is a number of financial prosperity. I mean, people in the East have been obsessed with the number 8 for a long time, but I want you to know that financial prosperity is something that you will only be able to channel if you are able to put enough work in to try, as I said, a lot of different journeys, a lot of different paths, and to know in the Wheel of Fortune that there are ups and downs, but it's very important that you just keep things moving. You know, it's almost like you keep the wheel that is your life, that is your career, that you keep that spinning, and that you don't put it into a place where, you know, if something works out for a little bit and then it doesn't, that you don't put too much pressure on that, if you know what I mean. But let's move further into your reading. We have illumination as well as change. So moving further into your reading in illumination and change, one thing that I see here is that what is really going to be brought to light is all of the changes that are happening within your life. I see that changes are things that can make you feel a little insecure. The changes that are coming might make you feel a little like you don't know how you can stand on your feet anymore, you know, almost like it takes the security away for you. But I want you to know that often when we're put in situations like that, we don't even realize how we have this almost like post-traumatic like gain, post-traumatic learning, post-traumatic growth. Everybody always talks about post-traumatic stress, but they fail to see that some people are put in very difficult situations and situations of big change, and they come out being able to do things that they never thought they were capable of, and to build things that they would have otherwise not been able to build had they not gone through this difficult stage. So I want you to illuminate that, and I want you to know that that is a thing. Not everything has to be post-traumatic kind of stress, post-traumatic just like darkness. Things can also be light. So then we have enlightenment, we have action, as well as voyage. So I see that for the rest of 2020, you're going to be able to kind of travel more than you expected to see different things. This may have to do with your work, but also your personal life. And I want you to know here that traveling is going to give you a sense of enlightenment. It may not seem like you're going to be able to do so right now, but 2020, you know, we still have quite a bit of time. And I want you to know here that taking action, as we spoke about with this masculine energy, taking action is going to come like second nature. I want you to know that you will be able to see things and experience things that are going to change you. They're going to change you at your very core. They're going to change your belief system, as well as what you deem as important and how you see yourself, your family, and your friends. So seeing other people's values, other cultures, and just how different places in this world work or do not work is really something that you can consider a source of enlightenment. So channel that for yourself right now if you feel like it's necessary. There are a lot of great documentaries. There are a lot of great things where you can almost put yourself in another person's position just by consuming, you know, media that is educational. So that is one thing that I want you to emphasize in this current time on right now. Then we have the Tree of Life, as well as the upper world. So one thing that I see here in the Tree of Life is the fact that the rest of 2020 is a year where you may adopt another animal, where you may become a parent, where you may move towards the idea of playing with, you know, just offspring or somebody in your life who is younger than you, who you can teach. So I see a lot of planning ahead for the future. Maybe you're even wanting to set up, you know, a will. You're wanting to set up what happens, say, to your friends, your family, your pets, if something happens to you. I definitely see a new kind of sense of being in touch with this world for the rest of 2020. But I want you to also know in the Tree of Life that conception is something that may be happening around you, especially if it's not something that you're interested in whatsoever right now in your life. I want you to know that, you know, people around you are maybe kind of exuding that type of energy, which is why it has fallen into your reading, because conception, bringing another life into your life, into, you know, just life in general, even if that means that you become an aunt or, you know, something like that. I want you to know that the impact is often so big that it can show up in your reading as well if somebody close to you is having an addition in their family, because that is an addition to your family as well. Then we have sea creatures, last but not least. So one thing that I see in these sea creatures is the fact that, you know, the immersion into something that makes you feel connected, into something that makes you feel as though, you know, this world is one, is really what is going to bring things to a better state in 2020. I see here in the Ace of Wands as well as the Five of Swords that you will have like amazing ideas for something that you want to create that will help more than just you. That is one thing that I see in these sea creatures, and you will come to more of an understanding through this year of the fact that, you know, we're all dependent on each other. The entire world depends on one another. You may think to yourself, wow, like even if I just look around, everything in my house has been sourced and made all over the world. You know, in one part of the world, something is harvested. The cotton for my shirt is harvested. In another part of the world, it is sewn together. And in another part of the world, it is packaged up, it is sent out, it is redistributed. There's so many people involved in every single thing of our life that we need to come to this realization of how, you know, a collective consciousness is really a thing. I mean, of course, you can just look out for yourself and you may feel very disconnected from the world at times, but at the same time, when you learn to connect, when you learn to have more compassion for everybody in this world, whether they know a lot about a subject or don't know anything at all, that brings you to a place where you feel more as though you can trust other people, where you feel more understanding and just overall more connected to society, okay? So I see this worldview of yours kind of like changing, opening up, having a broader sense of understanding, and also just kind of figuring out that you can get people to like change, to see things in a different light the more you understand them, the more you connect with them. So it's a two-way street, group number 4. So this is the reading that I received for you in correlation to the rose quartz that you chose, the gorgeous rose quartz. I want you to know that your relationships are really going in a more favorable direction, as well as your connection to mankind and humans in general, which is maybe something that you thought might not happen or may never happen. But yeah, group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it insightful, enlightening. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 5, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Rainbow Fluorite, group number 5, which this one has a very light kind of pastel rainbow color, if you can see. It is so gorgeous. It's really heavy, and this is also a stone that a lot of people who are very creative, who are maybe even a little bit eccentric, can connect with, because it's very multifaceted, most likely just as you are, group number 5. But I want to move into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on for the rest of 2020 for you. So we have the Fool as well as the Six of Wands, and little disclaimer, this reading is going to be conducted intuitively. That is why I have just 2 cards right now. So in the Fool, one thing that I see here is that the rest of 2020 is going to come with an unexpected new beginning. I see in the Fool that you're going to be able to start things completely afresh, your relationships, your career, and in the Six of Wands, I definitely see that it is a time for you to have fun again later in the year. It is a time for you to get out there, to get things done, and to kind of enjoy life, okay? The Six of Wands is you breaking out of a space of confinement, breaking out of a space where you why can't I talk? Where you felt challenged, and moving into a space where you feel free, liberated, and able to just live life again. Then we have the Ace of Wands. So in the Ace of Wands, group number 5, one thing that I see here is that new ideas are coming along. In correlation to the Fool, I see that these ideas are in a field, in a realm that you know nothing about. So this could be a new way of doing your makeup, a new business idea, a new sport that you're starting, you know, just something where you're like, I want to do this. And you probably already know what it is. It's probably something that you have thought about for a pretty long amount of time, okay? But you've never just gotten like that push to do it. But I see that for the rest of 2020, as soon as you're able to, you know, go and do the things that you would usually do, you will have this kind of push and drive within you to get the things done that you have been procrastinating before. Then in the Ace of Pentacles, we have just an amazing new start in your career where you're able to try out something like a business idea. As I said, you're going to have this amazing push in your life that is pushing you towards doing things that you were too afraid to do before. Also in business, as I can see now. Then we have the Princess of Pentacles. So I definitely see here that there's just so much new territory for you in 2020. I see that you're going to come out of this year thinking to yourself, wow, I have tried so many new things. I have accomplished so many new things. You know, in the Fool, the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, these are all fresh beginnings. These are all you trying out things that you have never tried before, being unafraid, doing things that other people may not think to do or may not expect you to do. And in the Princess of Pentacles, I definitely see here that it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, but you're kind of building your confidence slowly but surely. You're unafraid, and you think to yourself, if not now, then when? Okay, so I see this new attitude emerging in 2020 where you're like, life is way too short. I need to just start doing instead of overthinking or feeling as though it's not the right time. So I definitely see you getting things done. Group number 5, we have water, we have the shapeshifter, as well as birds. So we already spoke about this, you know, just very shortly in the Fool. We have it in the birds again, freedom, and you sense freedom for the rest of 2020. And I see that you may have a newfound appreciation for the freedom that you have. You may just feel like, you know, finally I have this weight lifted off of me. That is what I see for the rest of 2020, and also a shift in perspective. You know, that is what I see in the shapeshifter, you being able to come to this realization that maybe your perspective that you had prior to 2020, prior to some of the things that you're experiencing this year, was not quite where it should have been. You may start to think to yourself, wow, I should have had a more understanding or more broad knowledge of what is going on in the world and what this world is capable of doing, developing, and coming to, okay? In the water, I see an increase in expression, and in correlation to when it just comes to your love life overall, you know, water has everything to do with being connected to your emotions and knowing exactly what you want to say, when you want to say it, and how to say it. So in your love life, I definitely see that you are more vocal, you're more expressive for the rest of 2020, and you're going to be in a place where you feel as though if you get emotional, you get emotional, and that's just how it is. People just need to deal, because after all, it's more or less a free world, and you may express yourself how you see fit. So group number 5, furthermore, we have trust as well as going forward. So I definitely see as though you will only be able to move forward for the rest of 2020 if you trust. So trust in whatever you want to believe in. I know a lot of you are, for instance, Christian, so maybe you want to trust in God, in whatever belief it is that you have. A lot of you believe in the universe and the laws of attraction. A lot of you maybe don't believe in kind of anything religious, anything spiritual. You just feel as though there are energies in the universe, and that is fine. My channel is all inclusive. It is not about what you believe in. It's more about just, you know, putting that trust out there that the world isn't out to get you. The world isn't here to punish you. Life doesn't want to punish you. Life wants to see you move forward. But when we focus on the aspects of, oh, things have been going well, so they have to go south, or, oh, you know, humanity is doomed anyways, when we focus on that, guess what we attract? We attract more of that, okay? We attract more of the things that we actually don't want, that we're afraid of, because our mind, our thoughts, our energy is flowing where the mind goes, right? So then we have delight as well as purity. So last but not least for you, group number 5, I see here that the rest of 2020 is most likely going to be more delightful than you expected because of all of these new beginnings. I feel as though now things are very heavy, okay? I feel like you have a very pure kind of need and want for a fresh start. You want to leave certain things that are weighing on you, weighing on your family, your circumstances. You need and want to leave those behind, which is completely understandable, group number 5. So I definitely see as though, you know, as soon as you can kind of drop those things, as soon as you reach this point of freedom, you will feel a lot more content. You will be able to be less afraid of trying out new things, starting out new endeavors, and you will know that, you know, the time has come to just kind of like relax, to kind of allow any weights that are on your shoulder, anything that is weighing on your heart to weigh you down, and instead to just push on moving forward, you know, push further down your path, because that is just what you have to do for the rest of 2020. There is no other choice. You're going through this cycle regardless, so you can either fight it, you can either be against it, and, you know, then there's going to be more friction and you're going to have to learn and change in a time of pain, or you can go with it. You can allow yourself to kind of like let go of bygones and allow everything to start in a fresh and exciting way without any fear being part of it. So group number 5, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it insightful. If you did, let me know down in the comment section what truly hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings.